Yushchenko is finally sworn in as Ukraine's president. Reaction coming up. Ukraine's new president. The swearing-in ceremony was followed by a public inauguration in Kiev's Independence Square. Among the guests there were outgoing US Secretary of State Colin Powell. The pro-Western Mr. Yushchenko beat Moscow-backed Viktor Yanukovych in a rerun of November's disputed poll. Well, Taras Jaban, who was an election observer for Viktor Yushchenko, joins us now from our central London studio. Very good afternoon to you. So what will Mr. Yushchenko's priorities be?
Good afternoon. He's got a lot of work on his hands when he takes his office. First and foremost, he will need to fight the corruption that is spread across the society in Ukraine, and that's his most important task, and he recognizes this as his most important task.
But before that, he must of course go on to the details of choosing a government, and that in itself may provide problems.
Not necessarily. I think he's got a very good team and there are many people who can become a very good prime ministers of this country. Most importantly, they are honest, they are professional, and they are patriotic people. They have welfare of Ukraine and Ukrainian people in their hearts, and it doesn't really, as far as I'm concerned, it is not that important if it is Mr. Poroshenko, Mr. Tymoshenko, or Zinchenko, or whoever else from the team of Mr. Yushchenko.
But it seems important that he should try and satisfy as many people in Ukraine as it is, and it's pretty divided at the moment, isn't it? So can he do that from choosing the right government?
Yes, I'm sure he can, and he already started that work today. In his speech in the Parliament after inauguration, he said he would like to shake hands with every single member of Parliament in the building, and would like all of them to work together for the welfare of the country.
It was a remarkable rise to power for Mr. Yushchenko, and the last couple of months have been of political conflict. Has that in any way damaged him?
Well, politically, I don't think so. Politically, he actually became a stronger politician, I believe, from all this conflict that he had to go through. I think he actually became a stronger man as well. So I think that conflict was good, in a sense, in a build-up for him to become the president.
Also, we saw in the build-up a number of claims that people were trying to put him off his election campaign. Is there a fear that could rear its ugly head again during his post there? Well,
of course, there is a lot of hard work ahead of Mr. Yushchenko and the government, the new government of Ukraine. There is no doubt about it. But at the same time, these are very exciting times for Ukraine. There is a new government, there is a big change, and I'm very excited for the prospects.
We hear that Mr. Yushchenko will fly to Moscow tomorrow for his first meeting since the inauguration with Vladimir Putin. How important is that relationship, and who needs who more?
Who needs who more? Well, Mr. Yushchenko said, even before the election, he mentioned that his first trip will be to Moscow. So this trip was planned in advance. So there is nothing new there. It is very important, of course, to build a good relationship with Russia, who are our largest neighbor, and there is no question about it. I think it's not the question who needs who more, and that's the wrong way to address this. And I think there will be a new type of relationship between Ukraine and Russia from now on. There will be a professional relationship. There will be a relationship of two partners. Russia built their economy on a lot of natural resources that they transport to Europe, like oil and gas, and they transport it over the territory of Ukraine. So they require Ukraine for that, and Ukraine requires Russia for their resources as well. So we get oil and gas from Russia, for example.
It sounds like Mr. Yushchenko is looking to widen this out completely. He hinted in his inauguration speech that he wanted to secure a place for Ukraine in a united Europe. How high is that on his agenda?
Very high. That's a top priority in his foreign policy, and he mentioned this many times. That's why straight after Moscow he's going to Strasbourg, to Parliamentary Assembly there. He's going to address them, and then at the end of the week he's going to the European Parliament in Brussels, and he's going to make a speech there. So that's very important, and you know, European Union and relationship with European Union will be at the top of the agenda in foreign policy, I'm sure.
Taras Jaban, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.